Shirley's going to love this.
Joe looks like he should be showing us to our seats.
Yeah, yes, he does.
At the Hawks game.
Yeah.
That's right. Hey, look at this. I'm with the freaking beer nuts on Grand Avenue. It is Car Con Carne. Look at that. Herb tucks in his napkin because he doesn't like to get messy.
Yes, I have an event after this in my T-shirt.
Goofus doesn't put a napkin in his coat. Gallant does. Car Con Carne, here we are. We're in a Mazda 3, which I got from the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Car Con Carne is presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, located at 1015 Chicago Avenue. For the past couple of weeks, I've been driving around a Mazda CX-9. Just this luxurious feeling, state-of-the-art. I mean, you could use it for a family. You could use it just if you're a selfish single. It is a perfect ride. Tonight, we're in a Mazda 3, again, that I got at the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Everybody's comfortable, right?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
All right. So we're ready to record Car Con Carne. Yes, Beer Nuts?
Absolutely.
Right on.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
Right there.
Uh-huh. So we're in front of Bari, which is you recommended this, right, Herb?
Yeah.
This is a very Chicago place. Like, we walked in and
you
Joe's
said
like...
between downtown and Liars Club at 6 o'clock, I go, Bari, perfect.
Yeah, Joe said this is the Chicago place that Chicagoans go to. And it's a deli counter, it's a grocery store. This is fantastic. They're not even open late. Like, we got there under the radar.
Yeah, just at the last minute. Mm-hmm. They'll grind your beef per order as well. If you want, like, hey, 3 pounds of ground beef, and they do it right there.
You got to pay extra for that, though.
Good stuff.
This part of town, you got to pay extra for that.
That's a different grinder, Joe.
Daryl Wilson of the Boll Weevil says pure love. That's what he feels for the beer nuts.
Doc.
You know, I was saying right before I started recording with you guys, I did a little kind of setup recording. I said, if you had released Can't Say No, which you put out in the late 90s, if you'd released that now, you would be pissing people off left and right. Like, do you agree that you couldn't release that album, or at least not without some problem in the present day? Like, I've got to think "Blow Me for Beer" perhaps would not be a
someone would boycott us. That's for sure.
I would maybe it would have been good for Beer Nuts.
We're welcoming you to boycott our show.
Well, that's why we're ending it. On Halloween is our last show.
So Herb texted me saying, "Hey, we're doing our last show on Halloween. Do you want to talk?" And I paused. I'm like, why? Why would the Beer Nuts go away? You don't need to go away.
Oh my God, who farted?
Oh, really? Oh my God, are you?
Who was that?
Wasn't me.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is a Car Con Carne first. This is a Car Con Carne. This has never happened in the podcast.
Oh, come on, Dick. It's a fart roof. What is it, Mazda CX-9 fart roof?
This is the first time this has happened on Car Con Carne.
Which I can't believe.
And this happened within minutes of starting the podcast. How's that sub, boys?
You know, all those bands from Elmhurst would hold it in because they don't want to be embarrassed. They were just like...
They're respectful. Plain White Tees were respectful.
Who was it?
Yeah, seriously.
It wasn't me. I'd gladly...
It was Beer Nuts' original singer, Dick Mean, here.
I'd gladly claim it.
Dick is hiding from the camera.
Oh, and when I coughed...
Ladies, Dick Mean is in the house.
The hot giardiniera went up into no man's land.
Oh, that's the worst.
Jesus.
Good God.
All right, so back to the question, which we were diverted from thanks to the cruelty of one of you who won't own up to it.
I would gladly if it was. I will hope. You'll know when it's me. Anyway, sorry.
Why break up? I mean, couldn't you just keep? It's not like you're doing this full time. And couldn't you just do this forever?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. Well, I wanted to franchise the band out, and I'm open to that.
Kind of like Kiss?
I'm just done with it. Yeah, exactly. Kiss or the village people, like the Village People.
Do a generational thing.
So we're open to offers.
Okay, but seriously, why are you done?
Because playing
are you really
playing
done?
a song called 13 when you're 50 isn't as funny as when you were in your 20s.
Yeah, I mean, we wrote...
funny then.
The band started when me and Terry Bones both got kicked out of ministry, like, over 30 years ago, I guess.
I've got to think it was pretty easy to get kicked out of ministry back in the day.
You'd think.
It seemed that perhaps Al Jorgensen was a bit mercurial back in the old days.
Well, the story involves
good word.
Thank you.
Seymour Stein, Al's wife and manager, and a Black & Decker power tool.
All right.
It's all in the book.
Which book is that?
Well, Terry's book, Al's book, Chris Conley's book, and I'm pretty sure Martin Atkins' book. Everybody's writing books from that tour.
That is true.
Yeah.
Martin, I think, is PIL focused right now.
Yeah.
Did anyone go to that last
They
night?
played last night.
Yeah. I saw some video.
John Lydon's just been turned into endless memes these days.
Yeah.
That's the angry.
Because isn't he a Trumper? Or he's joking. He's like doing it to bum people out.
I think his appearance is being mocked in memes that I'm seeing a lot lately. I've got to agree with Herb. The giardiniera, little intense. Little intense.
This is a regular hot.
Oh my God.
Super hot is insanity. Yeah. Well, this is regular hot.
Yeah, I'd recommend it for Christmas gifts.
The super
Bari
hot.
Subs, yeah. The hot giardiniera, they make it there themselves. Our manager uses it as a lube.
Sure.
Jerry Rogers in L.A.
That's what men do.
Yeah, he loves it. Just sits there in L.A. and can't get enough of it.
Lawnmower lube.
Eric,
As well as personal.
on the Facebook Live, excuse me as I swallow more giardiniera, Eric said, I was never in ministry and I was still kicked out of the band 30 years ago. All right, so you were kicked out of ministry. Read all about it in lots of books we probably won't read. That's when you started the Beer Nuts?
Metalhead Ed.
Yeah.
Mama Lunch. That's a whole other story. Go ahead.
Terry and I started the band just for fun, completely for fun. And he's back in England now doing Discharge, which is doing really good. His original band, Discharge. So I'm just over it. I'm 50 now.
You don't look it.
He's 51.
Thank you.
You look 30.
Herb's turning 56,
I just turned 50. He's 51.
57.
I can hold up my ID.
Let's see it. I'm just over it.
He's got a face. But it's still fun to do.
There'll be certain. If the Cats from Double Door call us and say, "Hey, we want you to play our Patty's Day at our new club," we would be obliged to do something like that. But
It's
other
so-
than that,
That's going to be happening.
other than that,
Live
it's
here.
just I'm done with it. Thanks, Dickless, if you're listening.
Oh yeah, this is a total bait and switch. So we don't have the full Beer Nuts here. I just have the slightly intoxicated, farting men. The hot drummer, nowhere to be found. The hot female drummer, just the guys farting in my car.
Yeah.
Total bait and switch tonight for the Beer Nuts.
Humpog.
Dickless. Dickless. Out of all the hype I give to her, she just couldn't get out of bed to come do the interview.
I came here to eat. Sorry.
This is hot.
Supposedly she was in the ER with strep throat.
Well, that's
But
bad.
I have a friend that works in the Villa Park ER.
So the Beer Nuts are here. It's Car Con Carne.
How's your sub, James?
Oh, it's delicious. If you don't like the Beer Nuts now, you're going to hate them later. As immortalized in song.
Anyway, our last show's on this Halloween at Liars Club, 1665 Fullerton. And tomorrow night, Kiss Karaoke.
Yeah, Kiss Karaoke.
24th annual Kiss Karaoke.
24th, 4 years in a row I've done it. I'll host it as Gene. And, tomorrow's the MC50 thing. So I'm hoping to get a lot of people after that.
What's MC50?
The MC5 50th anniversary thing
Oh.
with Wayne Kramer and the weirdest assemblage of musicians ever.
How about
to
it?
be back that band? I mean, good people, but I was like, what? So,
Is the dude with the afro doing it?
oh yeah, dude, that guy's 6'7". So, and Wayne Kramer
singer?
is short. Yeah, Wayne
Still around?
No, it's not.
He's
Ron
not
Tyler.
white, is
They
he?
have this guy from Zen Gorilla. He's 6'7", has the afro. So with the afro, he's like 7'5". And Wayne Kramer's not, I wouldn't say a midget, but close. I can't say that anymore either. But yeah, I mean it's a freaky dichotomy.
So our last show will be Halloween at Liars Club.
Appropriately enough.
Yep.
Appropriately enough. All right, so let's go back. We started talking about the beginning of the band. Done with ministry, you started the band. How did things progress from there? How did these guys end up in the band?
Well, Dick was the original singer. Dick Mean. Yeah, we just started the band at the Wrigleyville Tap. I don't know if you know anything about the Wrigleyville Tap, but it was right next to Metro. And that was the type of place where in the daytime, you would be drinking with Kerry Wood after he pitched a game from the Cubs. At the night, if you stayed there long enough drinking all day, you'd eventually have a chance you could be playing pool with Lemmy from Motorhead. And these are true stories. Part of the Ramones, it was like It was the greatest place in the world. It was like a sports bar during the day during Cubs games, and it turned into the best rock and roll bar in the world.
Yeah.
So we get kicked out of ministry. We're just sitting there, and we're writing songs together, and just said, they served beer nuts right there, and we thought, well, that's perfect. And then we just started playing out gigs. When Herb joined the band, probably.
Rights of the Accused broke up in like '92. And we had
Herb from
decided,
Rights of the Accused.
we decided,
Redefined modern bass playing as we know it, as said by Billy Sheehan and
Yes.
Mr. Big.
Yes.
That's Herb on the bass, and that's
We decided that the Beer Nuts were our
Dig
favorite
me.
band. And then we broke up, and then I think I joined in like '93 after Al Field decided he had had enough at the right time.
Dan Field and Al Field, the
Well,
Field
no.
brothers. The Field brothers.
All right, Dan Field. Al was a keyboard manager.
So walking through some of your catalog, I did want to say, speaking of Double Door and St. Patrick's Day, there is a live testament to the Beer Nuts experience. You've got Amazing Grace done with bagpipes for like minutes on end. Like it takes forever to actually get to...
Long time.
It's like a screw you for listening moment, listening to the Beer Nuts live. I'm sure if you're there in the audience, it's great, but it's so...
that one that's on like I something or other, the one
I listened to it on
yeah.
Google Play.
Right, but you can find it, and it's that whole, the one where the leprechaun dished us.
Yeah.
And I keep screaming about it in the middle of the songs.
Incessantly.
Yeah. But yeah.
So if you were in the audience, you
right,
were
but
really...
if you're sitting like, oh, let's sing this song, it's like a full 12 minutes before you get
Yeah.
a song. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Quote, rock and roll should be dangerous, unquote, Dee Dee Ramone. It really did annoy people who were there as well. Trust me. Especially if you were filming it and holding up a camera. And you're like, oh my God, one of these guys. But that's part of it, that's part of it. You get fully annoyed, and then we come on, and then you get really annoyed. Come see us, Halloween, Liars Club,
Yes.
last show.
I think a lot of the Beer Nuts catalog is misunderstood. So let's walk through some of the songs. Keg Party. We'll start with number one.
Okay,
I look at that as
we were talking about Twin Peaks earlier.
That's a tricky one.
Okay.
well, no, I look at it as a bunch of young gentlemen coming together, kind of finding themselves in an evening out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started.
Right.
It was a party across from the Heartland Cafe, who I think the drummer from Twin Peaks' parents owned or something. And we were at this party,
Twin
and
Peaks, the band?
yeah,
Haven't they been
and
together
it was
like
it
a
was
month?
this party was put on by these guys, the Rogue Scholars, who one is now that pseudo famous author, Don DeGrazia, who wrote American Skin.
Oh, sure.
Anyway, they had this party, and
At the hippie bar.
we were just sitting around, and you kick some life into that bastard. Keg Party 1 or Keg Party 2, whichever. But yep,
Right.
these songs write themselves.
Well, let's look at the modern day classic, Blow Me for Beer. I look at that as a study of the hurdles that a person might go through in order to acquire something.
A Suntory at Smart Bar in 1989.
A Suntory, it's smart. That's what I was thinking. It's a lovely song. So we were talking.
Did you get to the S My D part with Gina Davis saying it?
Didn't get to that yet.
That's we sampled that from Thelma and Louise.
That's fantastic. So we were talking inside before we started recording. You guys actually had a record deal. I don't think I knew this.
Yeah.
Which, again, proves the
Hollywood
theory that
Records.
everyone in Chicago got signed in the 90s. But
Including us.
including the Beer Nuts. But that didn't work out so well. Or didn't work out at all, really. You kind of got to the starting line and then you were done.
It worked out for us probably better than most of the bands. But, yeah.
It worked out better for us than it did our manager, Dave Pryor, at the time.
We were signed to Hollywood Records, and they flew us out to LA a bunch of times. And then we played oh, look, Bari closed. All right. And then Hollywood was bought by Disney. Now,
Right.
if you look at our song list and what our,
Just the songs I mentioned so far.
yeah. Not to mention Pro VA. I don't even know if you can say
Well, I
that.
look at that song.
Pro Veg.
Pro Veg is a song
shout out
about
that-
empowerment.
It is. It's about the strippers in LA, how they get right to it.
Right.
And this is by, I don't know if you know Brian Blockinger, he used to own the record store out in Sherry
Ryan
Records.
Sherry.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
We were out in LA at one of these trips, and he came back and was like, the strippers in LA are so great. They just are totally pro V. They get right to it.
Well,
And we wrote the song.
Actually, the way it came up, I was talking about how gnarly some of the, whatever you can call it now.
So shout out to Brian Blockinger.
And Brian said, Oh man, I am totally pro badge. That's the actual line. 'Cause
Oh,
I was
my
like,
God.
I didn't need that close to my face.
And then
goes,
he
"I am
passed
totally
out
pro
that
badge."
night, and we made a nacho platter.
Was that him?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
made a nacho platter on his crotch.
Kevin Siesta from Trouble Badge Action wrote Herb was here on his leg to try and blame me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I didn't do it.
That's an obvious framing. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, it is. He had salsa in his crotch and a bunch of chips all over. That was pretty good. I forgot about that.
Anyway, Disney just said, cut our losses. We know we have a contract, blah,
Disney
blah,
said,
blah.
thanks for coming down.
Thanks for coming down. But they did give us the record, which I don't know if, when you sign a label, they own everything. Mm-hmm. They just signed us over the record, and we ended up putting it out ourselves. And we did okay. Because the project was complete.
and that record is Don't Say No.
Can't Say No,
Can't Say No,
which we took from the Kiss song.
Right, from the end of the verse in Room Service.
And Room Service, which is
I
also
Can't Say
from
No.
West Kid. I Can't Say No.
Yeah.
Kiss Karaoke, Liars Club tomorrow night.
All
Ding
right.
ding!
Pre-party for the Beer Nuts. 1 week in advance.
I Can't Say No. And our second record was going to be called Still Can't Say No.
I thought we were going with Briefcase Full of Blow.
Briefcase Full of Blow. Yeah, that was on there
yeah,
for the running.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That was
Nice Chicago reference. I mean, you really tie it all together
yeah.
very neatly. So I know there's some pre-gaming before coming to my car tonight.
Not really.
Well, a little. Dick me, we went to Dick's house, and he goes, yeah, I got a beer. He gave me a 16-ounce ice house. I swear to God.
New sponsor,
And
Ice
he goes,
House.
why does everyone laugh when I do that? I go, because you gave me a 16-ounce fucking ice house. That's why I'm laughing.
Actually, we're right by R. Kelly's first studio right over here.
And then
Is that right?
We had a quick shot at that Mart Anthony Italian place on the corner that has.
And then I think this is where Darcy was busted for crack cocaine up here. From
in the
Smashing
alley there.
Pumpkins.
That's true.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I ran
What-
out
what-
and got busted.
One Halloween, the Beer Nuts won as Gish.
Well, it was the very first.
A Smashing Pumpkins tribute band.
It was it was what became the Double Door Halloween thing. It was at Thurston's, and it was the first one where we did that, and then we moved it to Double Door, and that has become.
And there was a Go-Go's
20-something
cover band.
Tradition, yeah.
With Sexy Lexi.
But but everyone learned the other band's songs. We said we were going as the Pumpkins, and we just showed up dressed like we had played our own.
We
set.
did, yeah, we did
That's
one
amazing.
where we did
We didn't put it in the time. We did the beginning of the.
We did I Am One, and then we did a bunch of cover songs. But I was Billy, her was Darcy, and makes a phenomenal woman.
Yeah, hot.
Our drummer, we just taped a
Hotter
bunch of
than.
syringes to her
Oh,
arms.
dude, come on.
Oh, is that?
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Well, then I'm not even going to tell
Jimmy's
you.
our friend. He doesn't
I'm not
care.
even going to tell you what the
Yeah, you can't.
guitar, how our guitarist is dressed. So.
You can't tell the. Yeah, you can't tell the.
You can't
the
say
EHOP
that?
part. No. And Jimmy's our buddy, so he's
Jimmy Aha?
No. Chamberlain.
Oh, I love Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Tell him about the story you going to Chamberlain's house to play poker.
It's pretty good.
You got to sort it up, though.
All right. Long story short, I'm all fucked up on Clark Street after being a smart guy.
How's your sub, James?
It's after what was supposed to be one of the last Pumpkin shows back then. Jimmy and Joey Bush and Charmy, I pull up in a limo. They're like, Herb, come on, get in. I'm like, oh, okay, great. I can get in. I happen to have a burned CD, that's how long ago it was, of Mississippi Queen that I made him listen to for about an hour.
It's his birthday yesterday.
And so,
Happy
everything. So,
Wait, just the one song, Mississippi Queen, on
no, over and over.
Jesus Christ.
I
On a
used to do
loop.
that kind of stuff.
Twice.
So,
3 times. Maybe 4.
So we end up at his place, and we're partying, poker, and anyway, it goes till some ungodly hour. It's light out. And I can't find my shoes, but I'm freaking out because I'm going to be in trouble. I got to leave. And so I'm out in his front lawn in my socks, and it's like snowing out, or it had been snowing, it's frosting. So I have wet socks. Apparently one of his neighbors called and is like, what the fuck, there's some... I thought we were like on the northwest side.
Lincoln Avenue.
We were in Lake Bluff.
Lake Bluff.
Lake Bluff, Illinois.
Hailing a taxi.
There you go, yeah.
Taxi!
I'm trying to hail a taxi in my socks in front of his house. So, anyway.
Wait, I thought this was a
Jimmy
story
comes and
where you
drags
came
me
home
in.
with the wrong size shoes on.
No, that's a different poker game. Yeah.
Another poker game.
Yeah. But yeah, I had no shoes that time and never found. I think maybe he gave them to me years later. But no, I went home in my socks. He got me a cab, and it was like a $110 cab ride home. Anyway, go ahead. Done with that one.
I don't even know where to pick this up from. All right, so I'm assuming that part of the fun of being the Beer Nuts live on stage, maybe there are a couple cocktails before you go on stage. Have you ever played sober?
I have not. Maybe Joe.
I try and
because he
start
had
the
to.
show sober. We usually go through, like last Patty's Day at Reggie's, we went through 2 kegs on stage during our set, and our set's like,
Well, you do share. I mean,
yeah, beer bongs.
Last
Jody,
Thursday,
if you're listening.
even for me, was bad. I was blacked out by about the third song.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see it on the video when I check out.
Yeah.
But I had the whole rest of the set.
So I tried to wing it. I thought he had to go to the bathroom because Herb's bathroom etiquette is epic. Like when he goes to the bathroom, it's not 10 minutes, it's not 15, it's about 20 minutes gone.
which if this goes long enough, you might find out after the sandwich.
And then so I pulled something out of my rear. I think it was a Reckless Eric song that I was into or something. And I'm like, oh, Herb will be back. And I go
thought the
downstairs to the dressing room there.
I thought
and
the show was over. I was
He's
talking
having a
about
party
myself.
of one. We're on a party of one. He's like, hey, Joe!
he was oblivious.
This is just this past.
And this was only like 20 minutes into the set.
And he's like, dude, we're still playing. And I was totally oblivious.
You know, maybe it's a good idea that beer nuts are breaking up.
Yeah.
Like, I think
not good for
this may actually save some lives.
Yeah, possibly.
And the band could actually prolong your life by another 10
it'll
to
save
15
Herb's
years.
prostate.
Another 10 minutes. But yeah, as far as playing sober, Louie, our guitar player who isn't here, has had a real problem with my sobriety the past few shows. But that's for another time.
You know what I'm having a
Lou.
problem with is your double chin with this light.
I said, dude, I
know, I'm looking
said,
at
do
it.
you have the chin filter? And we'll open a sandwich. I mean, yeah, all right. Here.
Here's my secret, Herb. Grow a beard.
Yeah, well,
So
Me with a beard's
a
not
few
good
things
luck
about this
either.
Halloween show. It's going to be $10 to get in.
lean forward and put your tongue to the roof of your mouth.
Or it's going to be $10 to get in. $20 if you don't have a costume.
Yeah.
So you're penalized.
And that,
I like that.
And that $20 is going to go to a charity of Liars Club's choosing.
Yeah, to Katie's Kids, which I have at a Katie's Kids event in like
Yeah.
an hour.
We'll wrap
But,
up soon. I do want to mention, before we continue, Car Con Carne is presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. Thank you, Joe.
Mazda, as my dad used to say. The Mazda.
The Mazda?
Yeah. He's from Jersey.
Absolutely.
We're in a Mazda right now.
And
you guys are keeping it pretty clean.
Speaking of which,
the thoughts and opinions are solely expressed are solely of ours.
do we want to
not
talk
of
food
business.
at all? How is everybody's sub?
I loved it.
Excellent. Mine's gone.
I don't eat subs that often. I mean, they just
That's
aren't.
good stuff.
Well, because they're really average here in the Midwest.
They kind of
I'm
are.
from the East Coast where a sub is like a hoagie, a sub, and it's great. And forget about the pizza. You know, I moved here in like 5th grade and then we ordered a pizza and it was in squares. I was like, what the hell is this?
I love the party
Can you
cut.
say hell these days, Herb? Is that
Yeah.
okay? Hell,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Oh, heck.
All
Right, these
swearing
guys-
is okay.
Right. Joe and Herb, before we started recording, there was like a checklist of all the things Joe is not allowed to say.
And it was
is
long.
it is not right. It is weird that the voice of reason in the car is this guy.
That's true.
It
Well,
doesn't make
that's why we're
sense.
breaking up.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right, as you're heading into the sunset, which seems weird to say, what are some great Beer Nuts memories? What are some, whether it's shows or experiences?
Well,
Ask someone else.
I don't know if we could talk about this one or any of them, but my favorite was when we played in the Viper Room in L.A.
That's good.
And this was literally
97. So
this
20,
was literally
20
like
plus years ago.
like maybe 3 months after this incident happened. Herb gets on stage and goes,
well, hold on.
our
hold
good
on, hold
friend
on.
River Phoenix told us this is a great place to score.
Yeah, but we have to preface it
Why
with
are you
this.
interrupting my story?
But how we got to that point.
that was my favorite
Yeah.
story.
Well, no, because I'm trying to defend myself a little bit. The Viper
Anyway,
Room
they
doesn't.
kick-
The Viper
as soon
Room
as
doesn't
we-
give you one free drink. Nothing. Everything
Yeah.
is. So I go, hey, can I buy a case of beer? So they charged me full price for a case of beer at $7 a beer.
That sounds so Los
So I
Angeles.
paid it right. So I paid $170 for a case. Blah blah. Blah. And then during our second song, they confiscated the case of beer because we were throwing it around. And that's when I said, well, fuck this, we're done. And then.
All right, I think that
and then
pretext
ended
is
it.
important.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
That
ended
same
it.
trip, Herb spilled a beer on like a porn star at Motorhead because it was some conference.
That's the most rock and roll statement we'll hear all night.
And
Spilling
ended
a
up buying
beer
drinks
in
for
a
the
porn
entire
star.
bar. And there was literally 200 people at the bar.
That was at the Palladium.
That was at the Palladium.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's too long. I wanted to tell, but it was good.
Spilling a beer on a porn star at Motorhead. It doesn't get more rock and roll than that.
And then buying the whole.
And I was on something.
Wait, holy shit. Dick's still here.
Yeah,
Dick Mann!
Dick Mann. He hasn't been in the band in a long time.
Yeah, he's the original lead
He
singer.
lives around the corner.
He lives around the corner.
We needed him for the parking in the ice house.
All right, any other highlights?
Well, can you tell us? I don't want to tell that one. The dildo in the pool.
That's pretty good. We had a gig at the Roxy, and I needed to look, so I got some spandex pants, and I got a dildo called Super Ballsy Cock.
But he
Doc,
ended up looking,
Johnson can also sponsor this
he
show.
ended up
if you like.
looking exactly like Up in Smoke.
Yeah,
And
pretty much. Yeah, just
and we were
ridiculous.
playing in the Roxy where they had filmed them.
Exactly. So we're staying at the Hollywood Roosevelt in a cabana room, and we had a big party that night. So the dildo, the Super Ballsy Cock, ends up at the bottom of the pool. I'm passed out. Everyone comes running to the room like, get up. This little kid, this is totally true. This little kid swims to the bottom. He comes, he surfaces in the pool with this dildo. And you know, remember the scene in The Deep where they get the pearls? It's Jacqueline Bisset or whatever, blah, blah. And he's like swinging. It all happened in slow motion. And he's like, Mom, look at what I found. And everyone is freaking out, you know, howling, laughing, running to get me, blah, blah. So the mom comes, grabs it out of his hand, throws it in the garbage can and stomps up. They wake me up. I come out of the room, reach in the garbage can, take it, and go right back to bed. That was a good one.
But there was a suction cup on the end.
Yeah,
so,
it was one
So
of
the
those,
kid just,
yeah.
Mom, look what I found, and he puts it right on the end of the pool tile. That was another highlight.
It is interesting that your show highlights all happened out of town.
Yeah. Well,
Does that mean you're more tame in Chicago?
no, just we don't like to relive and involve people we know, maybe.
You don't want to incriminate.
Yeah.
Let's see, show highlights in town.
Yeah. Well, and you also might notice that very few of the highlights are in the show.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah. Let's point that out.
Although you disappearing or you ghosting on stage, and
That was pretty good.
That's
The best was
pretty epic.
Pete came down and just said, "Oh, I'm not dealing with this," and just left without telling me that we were.
And your
playing.
girlfriend, too, was just hiding her face from me. I was
Right,
like,
she's
oh.
no.
When did you start up Liars Club?
95. So
Was that really just
3 years ago?
to create a clubhouse for your friends?
Pretty much, yeah.
Party of one.
That's what it became. Yeah, absolutely. It was, yeah, to extend. Rights and Q's had broken up. I joined the Beer Nuts, and yeah, it was basically to extend the party in one way or another.
Did you have just to focus on you for one more second, did you have the chance to join Triple Fast Action?
I did not. I was nowhere. I wasn't good enough to join.
They wanted a real bass player.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, I'll take him.
That's totally true.
The bass, how hard can it be?
I do have Kevin Tiesta's Natural Thunderbird though. That
He
sold me
was
many
on the
years
cover
ago.
of Four on the Frets magazine as redefining modern rock bass playing a la
That's right.
Biggie Sheehan. With the man Rights to the Keys. Four on
right.
the Frets.
4 on the Frets.
So what about you, James? What's going on with you? We're doing the local.
Well, here's the deal, guys. This is my social life. I really look
Right.
forward to Car Con Carne. This is.
I love this.
But you're doing it like a few times a week, aren't you? Or
It depends
just
on the
depends
week.
on the season.
You know, this week I thought I was done, but then I got a text from you. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, of course we're going to do this.
That was great.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate
But
it.
usually it's like once a week. But it really is my social life. Once you have kids,
Right.
have a job, it's hard to get out. So, you know, this is my chance to hang out with the Beer Nuts, eat some oily sub sandwiches.
Aren't they great?
Oh, my God.
good.
My nose is still running from the giardiniera.
Nice.
Now, you guys all pronounce it in the very distinctly Chicago way, giardiniera.
Giardiniera. Yeah.
The A doesn't exist.
Right.
People outside of Chicago don't pronounce it like that.
No, well, people outside of Chicago don't really know what it is. There's
That
like the
is-
French
that's true,
version.
actually, yeah.
There's a French version that you get as like a little.
And let's face
relish
it,
deal.
once you pass
That's
Harlem
what-
Avenue, you're pretty much brain dead anyway.
Joe, you have a loathing for the suburbs. Just this horrible hatred.
He lives out there now.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah, I can speak
Why
from
wouldn't he?
experience.
Yeah. Why wouldn't he? He got a DUI in his driveway.
That's not true.
That is true, isn't it? It wasn't close to your driveway? Or are we not
It was
supposed
in
to
my
talk about
driveway.
that?
Thanks, sir.
Sorry.
Well, you know, these
Probably
things
should
happen.
put that on the list too.
Oh, I wish I had the guitar now. Maybe we could sing it.
I can't say no.
No, yeah. We had this great song that I wrote.
It just occurred to me. I called your album "Don't Say No." That's a Billy Squier album.
Yeah, well, which I would gladly rock as well.
Dude, I saw Billy Squier.
They had all the hits
Open
on
for
it.
Alice
I saw-
Cooper. I was there.
I
at
saw
Chicago
Billy
Fest.
Squier open for Queen at Madison Square Garden. I was like 12. It was
That's sweet.
It was
I
the
saw-
Flash tour.
I saw.
Oh, my God.
I saw him open for Alice Cooper at Chicago Fest. On
that's badass.
Oh, Chicago Fest was
And
amazing.
when he came out in that. Remember he did that one video where he was wearing like the pink workout outfit. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, he wore that and got booed off the stage and did like
I could
half
see
a
that.
set and bailed. Yeah, it was great.
I could see that.
I mean, I was like, 11,
Stroke
10,
me.
11, yeah.
Let's see. I saw the Go-Go's there before there were anything.
Nice.
Who else did I see at Chicago Fest?
Go-Go's were like a punk band when they started.
Yeah.
Well, she used to manage the Germs, right? Briefly, Herb? You would know that. manager of the
No,
Germs?
she was in.
Oh, speaking of...
Belinda drugged
Speaking of dildos and video, did you ever see the Go-Go's video?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
That is some good flaccid whacking.
And lighting directors.
Yeah. Flaccid whacking.
That
We're
was-
playing an empty bottle tonight. I think, actually.
Flaccid Wagon, I love that band.
The show got moved from Reggie's.
Beautiful.
All right, so Halloween, Rocktober 31st.
Yeah.
It is the farewell to the beer nuts. I've got to think there's special stuff planned.
It better be good. Yep.
Yep, there was a Damned band playing the music of the Damned.
Yeah, the Stick
And
Fighter
then-
are going to be the Damned.
And then the Hyman Moments, if you haven't checked them out, they're awesome.
All-female Misfits tribute band. You
Oh,
should
that's
have them
fantastic.
on. Have you had them on before, Hyman
I
Moments?
think you might have had Colleen on.
It's funny. I was looking for a band to do something for the radio station. I was looking for a band that did another band song, basically like a tribute set.
Right.
I learned that there was a band in Chicago called the Finger Bangles, and I thought that was brilliant.
I don't know about the Finger Bangles.
Oh, my God.
Were they real? Did you find them?
They're a real band.
When they play? How come I don't know about this?
I don't know.
Chicks.
I'm glad
So
we
what
could
do
share
they
it.
do?
They
do-
only play high-class venues, not
What-
the Lions
they
Club.
do
I mean,
so- what do they do,
The
Sonic
Finger
Youth?
Bangles, how have they not played at the Lions Club?
They do
Hey,
Sonic
Finger
Youth
Bangles.
songs, or what songs do they do?
Yeah.
I'm hoping they play "Hero Takes a Fall" because that song rules.
Oh, my God.
Finger bang. There's a
finger-
term. I love
Finger
that term.
bangles.
Finger bang.
What would they call? Okay, what would they call "Walk Like an Egyptian" if they're the Finger Bangles?
So, Liars Club on Halloween.
Yes.
It is the farewell to the beer nuts. Liars Club, great place to go any time of year, especially great on Halloween though this year.
Yes,
Ooh.
it's always good.
You guys know about this. Isn't Liars Club the number 2 spookiest place?
Number 3.
Number three. We're
On
number three.
America's most terrifying, most terrifying places in America on the Travel Channel, which they're probably showing now. We made number 3, and not for the reasons on the show, but and they didn't even they got their friends to do the recreations. Like, it's unbelievable. Most of it's untrue, but it should be on this week. They show it every year.
You know, Herb, you were on the podcast before, and we talked a little bit about the ghastly history of Liars Club. I don't believe in ghosts.
Me neither.
Me either so much. No.
But I mean, you've seen some
want to.
stuff.
Yeah,
I'm open to it, but I just don't.
Yeah.
But you don't need ghosts to be scared. Just go in the basement there at Liars Club.
I
Trust
want
me.
to enough, but I'm still too much of a wuss to be upstairs. I've been drunk enough, but be on the second floor, third floor by myself, and be like, hey, if anybody's here, show yourself.
Do you remember
I'm
when,
still too chicken
you remember
shit
when
to do
Bunny
that.
Carlos's drum tech got so freaked out in the basement that he called 911 on himself?
Shut up,
True story.
Did that happen?
dude. I would go.
I
Don't
believe you.
spoil
I
the
remember-
story with the facts.
Oh,
will
I
you?
remember the basic premise, but yeah.
I would go into any corner, any space of Liars Club, no problem.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
If you want to do that challenge, I'll accept
Yeah.
it.
All right.
Have you been in the basement?
No.
Yeah, the basement's the basement is featured in the new Local H video.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
I've heard of those
Yeah.
cats.
With Michael Shannon, yeah.
Yes, that was quite.
Michael
and
Shannon.
they filmed that, and we were just spectating and whatnot. And I go, hey, this is a little too close to home. And then we get upstairs. And I said to Sheen, I'm like, dude, you sure you haven't been to one of these parties? Because he was there.
Let's see, celebrities have been knocking at your door at 5 in the morning. Jack Black,
Yeah,
5 in the morning knocking on the door.
Jack
Who
Black,
else?
Definitely.
Kid Rock.
Who else?
He got kicked out.
Kid Rock, we threw out.
Munson.
Yeah.
Munson
Yeah,
got
Mr.
kicked out a
Mun-
few times.
Mr.
Marilyn
No,
Munson.
he left in a huff.
Jackass in there.
Oh, the Jackass crew.
Yeah. Oh, always.
Dick is a member of the Jackass crew.
Who else?
Lars
Brain
Ulrich.
dead. Ugh, yeah, I don't think we even let him in.
Oh no, he's a live wire cat. He only was a live wire.
Third floor. We let Lars in the third floor.
Yeah.
He didn't get in the first floor. Yeah, I don't know. Some other
Sophia
people.
Coppola.
Oh wow, that party started at your house.
Yeah.
We're
So
going to
are
miss
you
you
still
guys.
doing the local show?
Yeah, every Sunday
Okay,
night
Nick. Cool.
on 101 WKQX.
Let's see. What bands do we like? Local bands.
Yeah, tell me. Give me some tips.
Those Misreaction chicks are pretty talented.
Mystery
They are.
Actions.
I love that band.
Yeah.
Who else have I seen that's good lately?
The Orwells were pretty good. Oh, you can't talk. You can't mention that.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it was a big news story.
Wait, I think there's a band. The band that made the Black Flag joke. I think they're called Big Night In, but they played at the bar, and I was all fucked up, and they were actually good, and they were really funny. I need to talk to those guys because I don't have their contact info. Big night in.
Leg warmers are back, by the way.
I saw his band Salvation. They were pretty good.
Salvation are great.
Yeah.
No, Salvation
Good
are
drummer.
really fucking good.
I played them.
Yeah.
All right, so Halloween night, we say goodbye to the beer nuts.
Right on.
In seconds, I'm going to say goodbye to the beer nuts on the podcast.
Yes.
This was delightful.
Thank you.
Good, clean family fun.
Chin filter.
Chin filter.
Herb, you look delightful. Really. Just a handsome group of men.
We give it up for Dick Mean for helping us.
Yeah, Dick Mean.
Dickie. Original beer nut singer right there.
Uh-huh. Keeper of the ice house and the flame in the back seat. Appreciate that. All right, Car Con Carne again, presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. I'd like to apologize to the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston. The beer nuts are amazing. Go see them on Halloween. Woke Up, Tied Up. Oh, my God, there's a classic for you.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even get to that one.
We didn't even get
Yeah, that's all right.
It's a true story.
Self-explanatory.
Absolutely true story.
I'm pretty sure I've played that on the radio before, and in hindsight, that probably could have got me in trouble.
Yeah, but only for content, not for actual words, not for verbiage.
It's a fine line between clever and stupidity.
That's right.
It's a fine line. Oh,
Very
stupid.
much.
Sorry.
All right, beer nuts, thank you.
Halloween, thank you, James.
For those of you who are watching...
Thank you, James.
Thank you. This will be available on carconcarne.com soon. Thank you for watching on Facebook Live.
I don't know where to look.
Look wherever feels comfortable. Here we go. I'm turning off the Facebook Live.
Thanks, guys.
We forgot to ask. Are we done?
Yeah.
Do you want to be done?
Yes.
We forgot to talk about the time I stuck my dick in your ear.
Oh,
in New York. That
yes,
was
there's
good.
a picture of it. I was passed out. Joey had his dick in my ear, and Joey Ramone and Dickless were standing right behind us. And it's all in an actual picture. That's how long
and
ago
both
it was.
Joey Ramone and Johnny were there, which is a rarity to get them.
there too?
Johnny was there
I don't
too.
remember that. I remember
to get them
Joey
in the
being
same room when they don't have to be was
Yeah,
a
right.
rarity.
Gabba Gabba Hey.
Oh man, I love that band.